As we explained in the video for sales orders, you can choose to either sell parts to your customers directly from inventory or create shop travelers for those parts to manufacture them to order. We also explained in the video for internal orders that you could use JobMaster to create shop travelers for parts that you're manufacturing for in-house use. In this video, we'll explain how to create shop travelers for parts from both sales orders and internal orders. To access the section of JobMaster at which you create shop travelers, click on the Router Shop Traveler button on the main menu. This will open up a window which lists all of the shop travelers that have been created from both sales orders and internal orders. There are two grids on this window. The upper grid shows all of the shop travelers that have been created from sales orders, and the bottom grid shows all of the shop travelers that have been created from internal orders. In the top grid, for each shop traveler from a sales order, the following data is displayed: the traveler number, the description of the part that's being produced, the part number, the revision number, and the sales order that the part is from, as well as the customer the part is being sold to. In the bottom grid, for each shop traveler from an internal order, the following data is displayed: the traveler number, the description of the part that's being produced, the part number, the revision number, and the number of the internal order. At the right side of the window, there's a button that says View Combined List of Router Travelers. If we click on this button, this opens up a window that combines both of these lists. Shop travelers that are from sales orders and those that are from internal orders are distinguished by the leftmost column in the list, which is called Order Type. If the value in this column is SO, then the shop traveler is from a sales order. And if the value is IO, then the shop traveler is from an internal order. You can print this entire list by using the Print List button. Click on the Close button to exit from this window. Below the View Combined List of Router Travelers button, there are four more buttons. The Job Status Report button gives you a report that shows you the status of all shop travelers. If you click on the button just below the Job Status Report button, this shows all shop travelers for both sales orders and internal orders, regardless of whether they're closed or open, and it shows all revisions for all shop travelers. If you click on the next button below that, this shows only the open shop travelers and shows all revisions. If you click on the last button, this shows only the open shop travelers and only the newest revision for each. First, we'll demonstrate shop travelers from sales orders in depth, and then go on to shop travelers from internal orders. Below the list of shop travelers from sales orders, there are four buttons whose functions we'll discuss: New, Edit, Revise, and Delete. To create a new shop traveler, click on the New button. After clicking on the New button, a window opens that lists all of the parts from sales orders for which a shop traveler has not yet been created. For each part, the following information is displayed: the part number, the job number, the part description, the sales order number, the revision of the sales order, the customer on the sales order, and the price per unit of the part that's being produced. To create a shop traveler for one of these parts, just click on the part and then click on the Create Router Traveler button at the bottom of the window. Now you're taken to a new window and are immediately prompted with this message asking whether you want to update your inventory levels when the shop traveler is saved. As we'll demonstrate shortly, you can indicate that other materials and parts from your inventory are used on the shop traveler. If you answer yes to this message here, this means that the materials and parts you use in the shop traveler will automatically be deducted from inventory when the shop traveler is saved. If you answer no, then the materials and parts will not be automatically deducted. After you've made your choice, you'll be presented with the window at which you enter the information for the new shop traveler. Along the top of the window are some data fields that are automatically filled in. At the top left corner of the window is the job number field. The job number consists of the original sales order, followed by a dash, then the revision number of the sales order, followed by another dash, and then the part number of the part being manufactured. Next is the order field, which is automatically filled in with the number of the original sales order. The part number field displays the part number of the part that's being produced. Next to the part number field is the field that contains the number of the shop traveler. The first part of the shop traveler number is simply the job number. This is followed by a dash and then another number. This number indicates where in the sequence of all the shop travelers created so far this shop traveler is. For example, if the number is 1, then this is the first shop traveler that was created from a sales order. If the number is 5, then it was the 5th, and so on. After that number, there's another dash, and then the lot number. We'll explain how to split a shop traveler into multiple lots later, but it will suffice for now to say that the letter A indicates that there is only one lot. Next, the order quantity field displays the quantity that's being manufactured. The date field shows the date on which the shop traveler was made. Going back to the left part of the window, the part description field gives a description of the part being produced. The revision number field displays what revision of the shop traveler this is. Later, we'll demonstrate how to create revisions of shop travelers. The lot quantity field shows the quantity that is in the current lot. The delivery date field shows the expected date for the parts to be delivered. The delivery date is taken from the sales order. The customer for whom these parts are being manufactured and sold to is displayed in the customer field. The technical notes for the customer are entered when you enter a customer into JobMaster. If there was originally a purchase order for the parts that are being produced, the number of the purchase order is shown in the purchase order number field. The purchase order number is entered when the sales order is created. In the center of the window, there are 4 fields which you can give custom names. To apply your desired custom names to these fields, click on the Customize Captions button. This opens up a window where you enter the custom names for the field. Keep in mind that the names you enter here will appear on all shop travelers, not just the one you're currently viewing. When you've entered the field names you want, then click on the Save button. Now we'll demonstrate how to enter the materials and parts used to manufacture the item, the steps that need to be taken to manufacture the item, and how to attach graphics to the shop traveler. All of the tasks that were just mentioned are done using the 4 tabs on this window: the Material Description tab, the Operations tab, the Inspections tab, and the Graphic tab. In another video in this series regarding Master Router Travelers, we demonstrate that each part in your inventory can have a Master Router Traveler associated with it that specifies the materials, operations, inspections, and graphics that are automatically included in a shop traveler for that part. If you expect to use the same materials, parts, and procedures in the manufacture of a particular part, creating a Master Router Traveler for that part can greatly ease the creation of shop travelers for that part because you don't have to enter the materials, parts, and procedures over and over again each time you create a shop traveler for that part. Watch the video about Master Router Travelers for full details on creating Master Router Travelers. To enter the parts and materials used in manufacturing the item, make sure that the Material Description tab is selected. If it's not already selected, just click on it. Here, all of the materials and parts that are used in manufacturing the item are listed. As we mentioned earlier, if you have a Master Router Traveler for a part, the list of materials and parts that are needed to manufacture the part is already filled in here. Of course, you can add, change, or remove materials and parts as needed. To enter a new material or part, click on the New Material button. This creates a new blank row in the list of materials and parts. As you can see, in the leftmost column, a drop-down selection box appears. This is where you choose the inventory item number of the material or part you're adding to the traveler. Once you've selected the material or part you're adding, then a description of that part automatically fills in under the description column. You must also enter the quantity of the material or part you'll be using under the quantity column. If you want to delete a material or part from the list, simply click on it and then click on the Delete button. Next, we'll move to the Operations tab. If you click on this tab, this shows you all of the operations or steps that are involved in producing the item. Like with the Material Description tab, if you've created a Master Router Traveler for the part you're creating the shop traveler for, the operations that are specified in the Master Router Traveler for the part will automatically be listed here. To add a new operation to the list, First, click on the New Operation button. This creates a new blank row in the list of operations. As you can see, under the Operation Code Number column, a drop-down box appears where you choose the operation code for the operation you want to add. Once you've chosen the operation code, then you'll need to specify what step in the sequence of operations this new operation is. This is done by entering a number under the Sequence Number column. For example, you would enter the number 1 here if the operation is the first step. Keep in mind that you can only select from operation codes that have already been entered into JobMaster. To see how to enter operations and their codes into JobMaster, view the video on entering data lists. Also, notice that under the Description or Method column, the word Memo appears. The word Memo will appear with either an initial lowercase letter m or an uppercase letter M. If it's a lowercase letter m, that means that no description exists for this operation. And if it's an uppercase letter M, then a description does exist for this operation. In either case, double-click on the word Memo to either edit the operation description or enter a new one. This opens up a small window in which you can add a description for the operation or edit the existing description. Your description can be as lengthy as you require. Once you've finished entering the new description or editing the existing one, then click on the OK button to close the window. To the right of the Description or Method column is the Target Date column. In this column, you can enter a date and time when you expect or require that this step in the manufacturing process be finished. The Target Date column is optional, as well as the next columns we'll show here. The next column to the right is the Department column. Here you can enter the department which is responsible for performing this step in the manufacturing process. In the next column, which is called Inspection, you'll see that there is a checkbox. If this checkbox is checked, this indicates that the operation includes or consists of an inspection. We'll see shortly that there's a list we can access that consists of just the inspections that are on the shop traveler. The next 4 columns are the Operation Completed, Date Completed, Notes, and Completed By columns, which pertain to marking the step as completed. We'll discuss these when we demonstrate how to edit an existing shop traveler. Next, we'll move on to the Inspections tab. This tab is very similar to the Operations tab, except for the fact that only operations that are marked as inspections are displayed in the list here. Also notice that there are 2 columns here that are not in the Operations tab: the Accept or Reject column and the Inspected By column. Clicking on the checkbox in the Accept or Reject column indicates that the inspection was passed. The person who performed the inspection can be entered into the Inspected By column. Any changes that are made to the inspections here, with the exception of the Accept or Reject and the Inspected By columns, are reflected under the Operations tab. The last tab on this window is the Graphic tab. This is where you can attach graphics to the shop traveler. To view a graphic, just click on the graphic and it will be displayed to the right. Each graphic is listed with a number that you can specify and the file name of the graphic. To enter a new graphic, put the cursor on the Graphic Path column for the last graphic and then press the Enter key. This will create a new blank line in the list where you can enter a new graphic. Type the graphic number under the Graphic Number column and then double-click in the empty field under the Graphic Path column. This will open up a window where you can browse your computer for the graphic file you want to include. Once you've chosen the file name with the image you want to include, it will show up in the list for viewing. You can also delete graphics from the shop traveler. Just select the graphic you want to delete and then click on the Delete Graphic button. For now, once you've entered all of the information for the new shop traveler, click on the OK button to save it. Click on the Cancel button to cancel without saving the shop traveler. Now we're back at the list of shop travelers. If you want to edit an existing shop traveler from a sales order, then click on the shop traveler in the list which you want to edit, and then click on the Edit button immediately below the list. However, the first thing you're asked is whether you want JobMaster to automatically update the inventory if you make any changes to the materials or parts on the shop traveler. Click Yes if you want to have the inventory automatically updated, or click No if you do not want the inventory to be automatically updated. Now you'll be at a window which is very similar to the one at which you create a new shop traveler. But at this window, you can edit the details for the shop traveler you selected. There are also a few other additional things you can do in this window. Notice that near the top of the window, there's a checkbox called Router Traveler Complete. If the shop traveler has been completed, you can check this box to indicate that it's finished. Additionally, there's a Status Report button at the right part of the window. Clicking on this button opens up a report that shows all of the procedures or operations involved in manufacturing the item and their status. For each one, you can see whether or not it's been completed, when it was completed, by whom it was completed, and any notes left. We'll close this report for now. Additionally, there's now a Print button under the Material Description, Operations, and Description tabs. These print buttons let you print each of the lists under these tabs. When you've finished making any changes you wanted to make to the shop traveler, then click on the OK button to save your changes. If you want to exit from this window back to the list of shop travelers without saving, then click on the Cancel button instead. Right now, we'll do neither, so we can demonstrate one more feature, which is how to split a shop traveler into multiple lots. This is done by first clicking on the Lot Split button, which is also on the right part of the window. This opens up another window where you enter the amount you want to have in each lot. Enter the amount you want to go into each lot and then click the Split It button. A pop-up window will appear describing exactly how the original amount will be split among the separate lots. If the amount you chose for the quantity of each lot does not divide the original amount, then you'll be asked whether you want to put the remainder in a lot of its own or tack it onto one of the other lots. Once you've made your choice, you'll be returned to the window listing the shop travelers. As you can see, the traveler is now split into multiple lots. You can also create revisions of shop travelers. To do this, click on the traveler you want to revise and then click on the Revise button. This will open up a new window where you can create the revision. However, you're first asked whether you want to update the inventory if you make any changes to the revision. After making your choice, now you can make any changes to the revision that you wish. As you can see, the current revision number is shown in the Revision Number field. Once you've made all of the changes you wish to make, then click on the OK button to save the revision. If you no longer want to create the revision, click on the Cancel button instead, and the revision will not be created. Lastly, you can delete a shop traveler by clicking on it and then clicking on the Delete button. If any materials or parts are used in the shop traveler, they'll automatically be returned to your inventory when the traveler is deleted. The next thing we'll discuss is shop travelers from internal orders. Working with shop travelers from internal orders is very similar to working with shop travelers from sales orders. Whenever you create an internal order for a part, you're given the option of creating a shop traveler for it. Watch the video on the internal order section of JobMaster to learn how to create internal orders for parts to be produced in-house. As we mentioned at the beginning of this video, below the list of shop travelers from sales orders, there's the list of shop travelers from internal orders. To create a new shop traveler for a part from an internal order, first click on the New button that's below the list of shop travelers from internal orders. This opens a window that lists all of the parts from internal orders for which a shop traveler has not yet been created. For each part, the following information is displayed: the part number, the job number, the part description, the internal order number, and the revision of the sales order. To create a shop traveler for one of these parts, just click on the part and then click on the Create Router Traveler button at the bottom of the window. A small window will inform you that the shop traveler has been created. Now you're taken to a new window and are prompted with this message asking whether you want to update your inventory levels when the shop traveler is saved. After you've made your choice, you're presented with the window at which you create the shop traveler. This window is very similar to the one at which you create a shop traveler for a part from a sales order. The main difference between this screen and the one at which you create a traveler for a part from a sales order is that there are no fields for the customer, customer technical notes, and purchase order number. There is another difference in the job number and router traveler number. The first number in both, instead of being the sales order number, is the internal order number instead. Everything else on this window is the same as the window at which you created a traveler for a part from a sales order. When you've entered all of the information for the shop traveler and want to save it, click on the OK button. Click on the Cancel button to exit back to the list of shop travelers without saving the new traveler. Just as you would with travelers from sales orders, you can edit, revise, and delete travelers using the Edit, Revise, and Delete buttons below the list of travelers from internal orders.